Greetings family, greetings brothers and sisters. Thank you for coming back to watch our videos. Welcome her back, by the way. It's been quite some time without seeing her face on this screen. Anyway, yesterday I was here alone and I reported that Niger had decided to leave the Francophonie, the organization La Francophonie. And I told you that most likely, because when you see Niger do something, it is in the pipeline for Burkina and Mali to follow suit. When you see Mali doing something, it follows the same way. So today, which is March 19th, 2025, we woke up to the reports that true, both Mali and Burkina Faso have withdrawn from the Organisation Internationale de la Francophonie, OIF, following Niger's withdrawal. This is the statement or the press release from the Ministers of the Foreign Affairs of the Confederation of the Sahel States. That is the three countries together, Burkina Faso, Mali and Niger. So Burkina Faso, the Republic of Mali and the Republic of Niger, driven by the ideals of bringing people together through multilateral cooperation based on the promotion of linguistic and cultural diversity and the dialogue of civilizations, actively participated as founding members in the Niamey Summit, which gave birth on March 20th, 1970 to the Agency for Cultural and Technical Cooperation, ACCT, which became the International Agency of La Francophonie, AIF, in 1998, then the International Organization of La Francophonie, OIF, in 2005. During the 55 years of existence of the Francophonie, these countries, which today form the Confederation of the Sahel States, have contributed tirelessly and significantly to the construction and strengthening of these organizations. However, since the advent of the transition in Mali, Burkina Faso and then Niger, the OIF, instead of supporting these countries in achieving the legitimate aspiration of their peoples in accordance with its objectives and of peace, cooperation and solidarity, has distinguished itself by the selective application of sanctions based on geopolitical considerations and disregard for their sovereignty, thus becoming a remote control political instrument. Faced with this consideration attitude, Their Excellencies Captain Ibrahim Traore, Army General Assimi Goïta and Brigadier General Abdourahmane Tiani, respectively heads of state of Burkina, Mali and Niger, faithfully to the deep aspiration of their peoples and determined to defend their legitimate interests, have decided in all sovereignty the withdrawal of the member states of the AES Confederation for the International Organization of La Francophonie. The withdrawal decision has already been notified by the member states of the AES Confederation in accordance with Article 10 of the OIF Charter, done in Ouagadougou, Bamako, and Niamey on March 18, 2025. Niger, Mali was the first one to withdraw from the organization La Francophonie, and the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation of the Republic of Mali presented its compliments to the Ministry of Europe and Foreign Affairs of the French Republic, host country of the headquarters of the International Organization of La Francophonie, and has the honor to bring to its attention the following. This is the statement. And remember, guys, Niger was the first one. Niger was the first one to leave La Francophonie. And this organization was formed in March 2nd, 1970 in Niamey, Niger. The same place. They are the founding fathers, and they have said, you know what? We are done with this nonsense. So the statement reads, the Republic of Mali, a founding member of the Agency for Cultural and Technical Cooperation, which later became the International Organization of La Francophonie, has contributed significantly to the construction and strengthening of this organization. Mali has on numerous occasions demonstrated its commitment to the values and ideals promoted by La Francophonie. However, since the advent of the transition, the Francophonie, instead of supporting Mali in achieving the legitimate aspirations of its people, has distinguished itself by the selective application of sanctions and the contempt for Mali's sovereignty. Mali cannot remain a member of an organization whose actions are incompatible with the constitutional principles that guide public action in Mali based on the sovereignty of the state, the sovereign choices of the people, and the defense of their interests. Therefore, in accordance with the Article 10 of the Charter of La Francophonie of 23rd November 2005, the government has decided to withdraw Mali from the International Organization of La Francophonie. The Ministry of Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation of the Republic of Mali takes this opportunity to renew the Ministry of Europe and Foreign Affairs of the French Republic, host country of the headquarters of the International Organization of La Francophonie, the assurances of its high consideration. Guys, remember yesterday we even talked about this organization. It's an organization that represents the people who are affiliated with French language and culture. Imagine.
In an African country.
Yeah, who are affiliated with the French language and culture. Because when the French came to Africa, their aim was to uproot the culture from an African and the language of the African, the religion which the African or spirituality that an African had, and put everything which was French. That's why if you go to these countries, you find food is 95% French, the bread, the rice, you know. When you come to most of the things like cuisine is French, but when you go to spirituality, you find now some Christianity because the French, but they were unable to control them because of Islam. But kudos to the three brother countries of the Confederation of the AES, and we are hoping that more will follow suit. Senegal, Cote d'Ivoire, Benin, Chad, you know, all those countries will leave. And following that, do you know an equivalent of La Francophonie in the Anglophone? The Commonwealth.
The Commonwealth, you know, Commonwealth is more of games. Okay, well, that's when I usually hear.
Yeah, you hear them because of the games, but it's the same thing. Yeah. See, it's the countries
in
that
terms
are
of
colonized.
culture, I don't really see them as bad as the French.
Yeah.
In terms of colonization
but
and
it's also a useless.
Very useless, but I think they are more lenient when it comes to colonizing their colonies with their spirituality. Oh, spirituality, we have their stupid spirituality, but in terms of food and all of this, you can still find authentic Kenyan food, which is very similar to Southern African food.
What they were targeting most, like in Britain, what they were targeting most in these countries, our countries, is more of labor and production and minerals. The others they wanted everything. They wanted to make those people French. Like I said yesterday, the first president of Senegal, Senghor, Leopold Senghor, and the first president of Cote d'Ivoire, Houphouët Boigny, were both, they held French citizenship. Actually, even the son of Abdoulaye, what is his name? The former president of Senegal, his son who was vying for president had a citizenship of France. So that's what they used to do. But now, hey, we need to leave these organizations.
I'm just wondering how comes these guys, well, we've seen for most of their decisions, they usually report in different days and usually do things in different days. Well, with a joint and one voice, you will hear that Niger has left this, and following maybe after a day
that is another very beautiful
this thing. One does it. But my question is, how does this confederation work? I was just thinking, is it not like if we make a decision, we have one representative coming out to say the AES has left this organization? Or why do they still feel the need to say Mali, Niger, Burkina Faso on separate days and separate occasions? Because I was thinking if we could push as one, joint and
you know what they
united.
Do? They are still sovereign countries. So they have to report in different ways. But you find that when they were reporting this, the foreign ministers will come together and do that. Yes.
Is it for reassurance for their citizens to say, even my president has spoken, even my leader has spoken? Because I was thinking, if we need to move forward as Africa, if we have to really regain unity, if ever Africa has to unite, the AES should be that force that shows that we don't have to do it separately for you to be sure that it's happening. We have to be as one as the AES. And that's where I have a bit of a problem when it comes to the AES, because sometimes you hear Mali has fired his foreign minister, so and so has done this, and you just wonder, how do we make sure that in the near future or in future, when these leaders, the three visionary leaders that started this thing, continue with, other people continue where they have left off without us feeling like Niger is still a sovereign country, different, has to report differently, has to do things differently. I don't know, maybe I'm just buffering a lot, but I think
it's because, coming out of these borders will be difficult. What we can do as Africa is join the borders to look like there are no borders, but they are there. Because even even inside the country, you find regions, you find departments, you find counties, you find wards, you find districts, you find, and those districts have their own leaders. But if I'm coming from this district to the other, I won't need a permit, we can do business. That is what it should be. But when the certain district says, we'll start growing cotton, and another, maybe they decided as 3 districts. The other one says, we also decided together with this district A to grow cotton. And the C says that, then they say we are going to create a ginnery for the processing cotton. I think that's the case of these countries. They are not independent. You see, they are deciding together only when reporting that they report to independently. Yeah, but they sat down and decided we are leaving this.
I just wish in future we could have one AES. This is the AES taking the stand on IOF.
My wish is in future we don't have the AES. We have the new African Union, which came out of the AES.
Maybe in your incarnation, some years and years from now, but the AES is already here.
Yeah,
let us work with what we have.
If you look online, if you try and look what is happening online, the young people of Africa are looking up to these guys. We want, my president is Samia Suluhu of Tanzania, or my president is Abiy Ahmed of Ethiopia, or Museveni of Uganda. And I am not, I don't like the way he does things. He's old, and maybe there's a lot of corruption, there's a lot of things happening in that country, and he depends so much on the West. But I'm looking at this country which is very much independent, and they believe in their people, they believe in the young people. That is what we want. So in the near future, we'll see young Africans becoming leaders and going that way. So guys, let us know what you think in the comment section. I think this is wonderful. I was expecting it, but not very soon. Maybe a week or 3 days.
No, it usually happens.
It's the next day. Anyway, if you'd like to support us, we have Buy Me a Coffee link in your description, our description, on your screen. And also we have, if you'd like to support us through YouTube, we have super chats. We have seen you brothers and sisters supporting us. We have appreciated so much. Continue supporting us. We will see you in our next video. Bye.